Hi, Devin and Brian. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. My question, in my question, I'm going to personify God a little bit. So I hope that you can hear my question behind that.
Yeah.
In the analogy that we are dream characters in the mind of God, um, for lack of better word, is there an intelligence in the mind of God that interprets that dream of form? For again, for lack of better words, that might reflect on the dream and wonder why there is this aspect of consciousness that would drop a bomb or an aspect of consciousness that would give a hug. There's some kind of intelligence in the mind of God that would interpret that dream of form.
Is there some kind of intelligence that would interpret? Yes, the intelligence that your mind has to discriminate between actions such as dropping a bomb on a city and giving a friend a hug. The intelligence that is innate in God's mind shines in your particular mind as, amongst other things, your discriminating faculties, your ability to discern the difference between the motive of one who drops a bomb on a city or gives a friend a hug, to use your two examples. So yes, your discriminating faculties are a reflection of the intelligence that is innate in God's mind, the intelligence that is God's mind. Your discriminating faculties, amongst other faculties that you have, are a reflection of that intelligence in your finite mind. And therefore your discrimination is used in service of that infinite intelligence, another name for which is love. So it enables you to discriminate between actions in yourself and in other people that are motivated by love or otherwise. Let me put it another way. Let's take your own behavior. When you do something and you reflect on it afterwards, in almost all cases, you can tell whether your action came from love or from hostility or the absence of love. Now, what enables you to do so? Your intelligence knows love. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to distinguish between an action that was loving and an action that wasn't. It's because your intelligence knows what love is, that you are able to recognize it in an action or recognize its absence in an action. Well, that taste of love, that knowledge of love that your mind possesses, that it allows you to discriminate on its behalf, is like a ray of God's infinite intelligence shining in your mind.
Sometimes when I hear you teach, there's this question in my mind about purpose and meaning in the play of form. There being whether or not there is kind of a deeper reflection that the whole of consciousness doing with us can relate to my individualized experience, that discernment that you're describing.
Infinite being, or what you refer to as God's mind, has no purpose. Because a purpose there would have to be two things for there to be a purpose: how things are now and how things are in the future. And my purpose is to get from A to B. In God's mind, in infinite being, there's just itself. There's nowhere to go. There's no question of a purpose. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to become. There's nothing to achieve. As soon as God's infinite mind is localized as an apparently separate self, then duality and the sense of purpose that attends it begins. So what would the ultimate purpose of a human being be? It would be to reflect the nature of reality before it is reflect the unity of being, before it is refracted into a finite mind. That so ultimately the highest purpose would be for a finite mind to go back to its original purposeless condition. What does that look like in a human mind? Prayer and praise. Prayer, that's the inward-facing path, the return to being. Praise, that's the way you express the qualities of your being in life and how you share the qualities of being with humanity. So prayer is the inward-facing path. Praise is the outward-facing path. That's what God's infinite being looks like when it's refracted into a human mind. Its purposelessness, which is its nature, assumes a purpose when it is localized in a finite mind. And that purpose in its purest form is prayer and praise. When it gets subordinated to an ego, of course, the purpose then gets perverted and an ego has many other purposes. But the highest purpose that a finite mind, a human being, a separate self can express would be prayer on the inside and praise on the outside.
Thank you.
Nice to see you both again.